I really do believe it's our customer service. Um, insurance is tough because from a product standpoint, we don't really offer anything different than any other independent insurance agency. Now, or really captive agency. Other than that, we can price quote with other companies. We're not captive to like a State Farm.
Welcome to Business Ninjas, brought to you by WriteForMe, where you'll hear from business leaders who are out there growing their business and slaying it every day. Learn from the masters. Let's get started.
Hey everybody, this is Max Pittman from WriteForMe, and you're listening to another episode of the Business Ninjas podcast, where we meet the business experts who are making things happen and scaling their businesses. And today we're talking about Sholley Insurance Agency with Meaghan Troup, who is the Director of Marketing at Sholley Insurance. Meaghan, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So, Sholley Insurance, you guys have been in the insurance space for a long time, since 1985, so we're coming up on, like 40 years. Crazy. Yeah, and definitely excited to understand a little bit more about what's going on at Sholley. But before we jump into the organization, our Business Ninjas community is built of entrepreneurs, executives, sales and marketing leaders like yourself. So as the Director of Marketing at Sholley, tell the Business Ninjas community a little bit about yourself, your role, and maybe some of the things you're focused on right now.
Well, I came onto the agency about 4 years ago. It's kind of a funny story because my husband's actually currently an owner, and one of the things I told him when we got married is I'd never work for him because, all your eggs in one basket and that kind of thing. But the agency was growing, and they saw that they really had the need for somebody to handle the marketing. And so they came to me and said, we couldn't find somebody more qualified than you. So what do you think? So I started it, and it's really actually been quite a joy growing this business with my family. My background is actually in fine art and graphic design, and then I have a master's in integrated marketing communications. And one of the things that I really started working on when I first came on was branding, because they've always been a family insurance agency, and they've sort of just, not really focused on like, okay, what is our look? What is our feel? What are we saying? It's just, they've kind of always been like, well, this seems like a good thing, or that seems like a good thing. So the very first thing I did was get our branding all straight. And then, I started really focusing down on how much we do in the community, because they do a lot for the area, different organizations in the area, schools, sports, things like that, to support community events and support charities in the community. But they never liked to talk about them because they thought it was haughty. So I worked on saying, there's a way to communicate what you're doing without coming across haughty, but you need to be out there. You need to talk about this because it shows who you are as an agency. Sure. Insurance is tough because you already start out at a disadvantage. Most people don't trust insurance agents. We're right up there with lawyers. So, showing who you are in that fashion is a way to build trust.
Definitely. Yeah. It sounds like there's definitely a big need for kind of a rebrand or facelift to Sholley around the time that they brought you on. And I can see why kind of being involved in the community is a big piece to it. And it's a family-owned business, been around since 1985. So it kind of makes natural sense for the business. Now we're here in 2000, that was probably 2019, right? So,
Yeah.
what did you focus in on specifically to kind of continue to grow within the community, and what community are you working within?
Well, we are located in Union County, specifically the town of Lewisburg, but we service individuals and companies within about a 50-mile radius of that. Um, and so one of the things, after I kind of got the branding under control, I started looking at the markets that we serve, and that really changed a lot with COVID, and everything going remote. And fortunately, um, we had the foresight to like get everyone set up when we kind of saw where the tide was going with that to work remotely so that we could continue our customer service to our clients in the standard that in the way that they had been used to. We really pride ourselves on our high quality customer service. But then I started to look at the markets and develop some niche markets. Um, One of the big ones in this area is actually farms. We're very rural, so raising awareness about the farmers and their importance in this area, and we have an expert that talks about certain coverages that farmers can have that would provide them with additional coverage in the case of, you know, natural disasters or fires or things like that, that some of their basic coverages may not cover. Um, and sometimes like a barn fire could create a total loss for a farmer, because if it's their seed, if it's their animals, what do they do? And some coverages are better than others, so we always try to provide the best coverage we can for our clients within their budget, but also make them aware of other coverages that might be beneficial to them.
Very cool. It's really interesting to hear some of those, you know, ideal customers for you being in rural Pennsylvania, and the importance of farming in that region. Well, first off, is just important to America and keeping America moving, but also to ensuring that you can keep the economy moving too, by keeping these farms covered as well. So it makes sense why you would want to focus on potentially those challenges and those customers there in your space. What is it like the secret sauce that they go with you? Why not, a farmer's insurance or a State Farm, right? Like, I know you're in the community, but what is that secret sauce that you focus in on that separates you?
I really do believe it's our customer service. Insurance is tough because from a product standpoint, we don't really offer anything different than any other independent insurance agency. Now, or really captive agency, other than that, we can price quote with other companies. We're not captive to like a State Farm. Um, but uh, just how much our agents care, like I can speak from experience. There are times that, it's a weekend and one of our clients has an emergency and they call into our emergency line, and my husband goes out to that client and he will make sure everything is taken care of. Just recognizing that these are people, that what they love and what's important to them is significant. We are protecting that, and they shouldn't have to worry about it. They shouldn't have to worry about the process. That's what we're here for. And that is the difference you get with working with an agent, especially an independent agent versus, going online and shopping. You have the peace of mind of knowing that it's handled, and it's handled correctly. And we're that middleman. We can fight for you. We can file the paperwork. We can cover all the bases for you. So I think that's really where our difference is. And the people who work at our office, they're your neighbors. They're in the community. They understand the challenges that the community faces and the different clients and industries face in the community as well.
Mhm. Yeah, the hands-on approach to me is what makes me feel like I do have peace of mind for sure, and creates consistency, or treats me as a long-term employee, right? I want to feel like I it can be with you for the next 20 years, if not longer, right? People don't want to have to go out and find new insurers every year. And I'm sure the insurer doesn't want that either. So more hands-on
Yeah.
approach, personalized approach, seems to make a lot of sense.
Yeah,
Um,
and we always try to price check too for our clients to see if we can get them better coverage at a lower cost, or if there's any other deals we can provide for them. So,
so what would you say are the biggest challenges, facing the business right now? It could be either from a marketing perspective, as I know that's your focus, or from like a broader scope as well.
um, I would say one of the largest ones is healthcare insurance. It has gotten, I'm sure you know, extremely expensive for businesses and also individuals. And uh we some of the small businesses in our area actually struggle to provide insurance, pay for healthcare insurance for their clients. And while there is national healthcare, sometimes that's actually not always the best fit for individuals or for employees. So we work a lot with our client businesses that provide employee benefits, and um, try to help them through the process, find something that's most affordable. And also, um, there are actually, and this is something we try to educate our clients about as well. There are actually quite a few um, lower cost options, not lower quality, but lower cost. They're more independent groups that offer healthcare services. So where you might go to a large hospital and spend $500 for an X-ray, you could go to this place and spend 50. And so, part of the issue is the more claims an insurance company gets, the higher your premium goes. Um, and that, it's this crazy balancing. So that's one of the big areas that we are trying to deal with, and also educate people as to how they can help lower some of their healthcare costs, and stay healthy in the process too.
So it sounds like the biggest challenge is a customer challenge of finding the right healthcare provider.
Yes. Yep. Customer challenge.
And that's
And
something,
then
so is that something that you focus on personal, I'm assuming. What are the focuses for the insurance agency itself? Like,
So we actually are pretty broad. We do personal lines, so that's your home, auto, ATVs, all that kind of stuff. Commercial lines, which is business insurance, and then employee benefits, which would be businesses that offer health insurance to their employees. And Medicare. Medicare, we also do a lot with Medicare. Um, so we have 3 departments, and each one is focused on clients within their division.
gotcha. That's helpful to understand. Yeah, so it makes sense why there would be a focus for your customers to focus on healthcare, because I'm in the same boat too, ensuring like I'm with the right provider and I'm in the right plan, so I'm not paying so much out of pocket to get to my deductible, right? Like trying to meet and get the right plan for me. So it makes sense. That's the biggest challenge that your customers potentially are facing. What about you or the organization yourself? Like, what is something that you guys are focusing in on? Could be again, from a marketing perspective or general overall perspective.
I think my biggest challenge, it's kind of both a marketing and just a general overall agency. We're trying to get everything kind of consistent across the board with our processes. So, um, you know, like, for example, everybody from a marketing perspective, everybody having the same email signature. So, that went in with branding, but this is the process for this. This is the way we do that. And, it's growing pains. So when we were just a smaller family business initially with, like, maybe 10 people, everybody kind of did things how it worked for them. But now we have and I know it's still small compared to some big companies, but we have 30 employees and we have 3 locations now. So it's making sure that our processes are consistent across the board, across our locations, so that our customers are receiving the same service no matter where they're at. So, it's communication, making sure things don't get lost in transit and translation.
Definitely. Yeah. Building a simple, consistent message is important. We want to make sure everyone's speaking the same language. We do that here, even on the, on the podcast team and production team. We want to make sure we're all, on the same page. And yeah, something as simple as an email signature or like a headshot or, yeah, you name it, right? We all want to make sure it's consistent across the board for everyone that we're bringing on. So I can see why, if you are growing and scaling, why it would make sense that this is a focus that business is focusing in on. How are you growing and scaling? Like how is the organization, going to be treating the next year?
Well, we actually just acquired a agency in Mifflinburg. It was an insurance agent who is retiring out, and he's going to be staying with us the end of the year just to make sure the customer rollover goes perfectly smoothly and everyone's comfortable. But it's actually really humbling and like a really great compliment at the same time, because he sought us out because he liked how we did things. It was consistent with how he had treated his clients and would want his clients treated moving forward. So he didn't just want to sell his agency, to the highest bidder. He wanted to sell it to somebody who he knew would really take care of his clients. So we just acquired that. So there's going to be, some growing pains a little bit there, setting things up, making sure we know who's where, and they had a different customer service database than we did, so transferring all that over. So making sure that all goes smoothly this year will be a big thing. And then I really am pushing for our agents to really get back out in the community, because as some of the regulations have lifted with COVID, I think it's good for us to get out there and be a part of things again, and really be at different community events, getting to going to see our clients in person again, networking again, that kind of thing.
Definitely. Well, congrats on the new business and acquiring that, and best of luck transitioning that business into customers as well. And hopefully all that goes well as you continue to grow and scale your accounts. What's something that you think, the company wants to be celebrating a year from now? Just kind of curious to hear, like, what's a big goal that the company's trying to solve for right now?
Well, my big goal for the company would be, I'd really like to we have an online app, so that people can like access their, insurance cards and things all online, or from their phone if they want to. Um, and we haven't done a very good job at rolling that out. And I really want to roll that out and make people very aware of that. So I would like to have that under my belt by the end of the year, and have everybody who's comfortable using it using that. And then the other thing I'm really pushing is video. I'd like to do video quotes, and right now I'm getting a little pushback because people aren't super comfortable with it. But video content and video communications are huge. People don't really enjoy reading big long emails, and insurance, can be very complicated and kind of boring, honestly. So having somebody explain your quote to you on a video is actually probably a lot easier than reading through a big long email. So those are my two goals for the agency this year. So hopefully I can light some fires under butts.
Absolutely. I mean, if you and the team and invested in an application, an online application, people can access their data. I find that extremely important and useful, especially for someone like myself. And I can see where potentially some farmers, like there might be some barrier to entry there for them to do it, or for them to do testimonials as well. But those are things that I think allow you to kind of continue to grow your accounts, keep long-term customers, but also at the same time, like educate the space on who Sholley Insurance Agency is, to hopefully grow and expand and get more customers as well. So it sounds like that a lot of what the focus is kind of like on retention and also net new growth. Yeah.
Yeah, and making it's just easier for the customer to access their information.
Yeah.
So, obviously they can still call us anytime, but when you're a lot of, especially our younger clients, if they're on the go, they like having that access right at their fingertips to all of their information and their needs. So there's
Definitely.
just one more way we can add value to what
Exactly.
we.
Makes sense. Well, as we wrap things up here, is there anything else that you'd like to share? Anything that you think our listeners or your ideal customers should know about that we haven't covered yet?
Well, one thing that is, I guess I could also include this as a goal. We actually have started a podcast ourselves, specifically about, the culture of Central Pennsylvania, because it's a little quirky. And what we're doing is we're engaging our customers to talk about their stories and their experiences, from farmers to truck drivers to people even in our industry. We're doing some interviews with our own agents to talk about what they've experienced, just as a way to engage our clients and people to get us to know us better, and also preserve a little of our history and of our quirky culture that we have here in Pennsylvania. So that is actually called Pennsylvania Life Legends and Lore, and that can be found anywhere you listen to podcasts right now. So, that would be another goal, grow that a little bit better, because I think it's pretty fun,
I love
and
it.
it's hard to make insurance fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. I love that you guys have kind of an entertainment type educational podcast, Pennsylvania Life Legends and Lore. Everyone go check that out on all the streaming platforms. Anywhere else that people can find you, or anywhere you're going to be, any conferences or anything like that coming out, webinars?
Well, we have a YouTube channel that we have kind of educational little vlog things that there's one about Medicare, there's one about farm insurance. We try to cover some, frequently asked questions. So that's on YouTube. You can also find those videos on our blog online at our website, which is www.shollyagency.com. So those are the main places you can find us. We have a pretty big presence on Google too. So if you Google us, I think we come up pretty
Perfect.
much at the top of the list.
Well, we'll definitely include the YouTube channel, the podcast, and the website all in the description for everyone to check out. I appreciate you being here, Meaghan, and I definitely enjoyed the conversation, learn a little bit more about you and about Sholley, and appreciate you being here, part of the Business Ninjas podcast.
All right. Thank you for your time. Thanks for having me.
Well, that wraps up another episode of the Business Ninjas podcast. Everyone have a great rest of the day, and thanks for listening.